Yeah, 2018 saw the dramatic conclusion of the global film sensation 50 Shades of Grey, available on DVD and Blu-ray soon. Jamie and Dakota reprised their roles of Christian and Anna, as well did a charming guy from Canada, Eric Johnson, aka Jack Hyde. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to have you. As he is front and center of parts 2 and 3's plot, you might be thankful E.L. James created a character like Jack. On the other hand, it was revealed you had a tough time turning evil.
I don't know if I had a tough time turning evil. It's, being awful to somebody as kind as Dakota and Rita Ora is not a lot of fun. But I did relish the opportunity. It was, being part of the franchise has been a pretty amazing experience, and I very much thank Erica for having me on board. I mean, it's a big global phenomenon, and getting to even play a small part in that has been a lot of fun.
That's what you call it, a small part.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's really a love story, right?
Yeah,
yeah. And so I'm happy to be the foil trying to break them apart. But I mean, let's not kid ourselves. It's about Christian and Anna.
Yeah. Okay. I read E.L. James provided some direction on where to take Jack.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
she said, "Just be evil." That's what I remember. Just be evil. You're great. You'll be fine. I remember asking her, like, "Well, was there anything I want to do?" She just sort of gave me her vote of confidence, which was great. Early on, before I even had the part, my wife had some great insight into it because she had read the books, which was very, very handy. Because once I got the part, I had like 48 hours notice before I was on a plane to Vancouver to meet with James Foley. So I need to have my hot take ready right away. So that was very handy. But Erica was just nothing but supportive the whole way. It was amazing.
I just mentioned it because we're here to discuss the DVD and Blu-ray release, and a bonus feature exclusively to Blu-ray and 4K is an intimate conversation with E.L. and yourself. Did you share a favorite moment doing it?
What was interesting is when we were doing the premiere in Paris, we got a chance to sit down, and I got a chance to be in your position, and I could ask Erica a bunch of questions. Which was to me was great. Being able to ask her what this ride has been for her. To be able to be in the middle of something that became such a global phenomenon, and to not only spawn multiple best-selling books, but also 3 massive blockbuster films. I mean, it's a little surreal. So it was great to be able to sort of hear her point of view on things and just sit and chat. She's good for a conversation and good for a laugh.
Yeah. Mentioning laughs, despite the serious and dark content of both the scripts of Darker and Freed, of course, there was a lot of laughs on set. This might be of some importance for you.
I think, for me, when I'm working, especially doing the darker material, I do, when it's appropriate, like to keep the mood light and fun. It has a different kind of energy to it. Like your energy's always high and up, and when you can be laughing and joking around, and for me, when they yell action, it's easy to take that energy and do the absolute flip side of it. But it keeps the day moving faster, and I always figure, you're there too long to not enjoy yourself while you're doing it. And thankfully Dakota was game to play along, and we had some great laughs. And again, despite the fact that my whole point of being there is to be absolutely terrible to her on camera, we were able to have fun in between and laugh, which it just makes the whole experience that much sweeter.
Of course, we don't want to spoil the game, but you have a child yourself.
Yes.
And how was it to shoot the scene when you kick Dakota?
Oh, it was awful. The worst thing about shooting that scene is there's 2 moments. One, she was off camera and I was pretending to kick her, and I was putting a lot into my performance here, and it was very enthusiastic. And I kicked so hard that my other foot came out from underneath me, and I ended up flat on my back on the concrete. Which was incredibly embarrassing because I think the line I had right before that was, you think you can embarrass me? And then I fell down in front of everybody, and we got it on camera, so it was amazing. But then during one of the scenes, my heel actually caught some of the dirt that was underneath my foot, and I kicked a bunch of dirt and gravel all over Dakota in that scene. So it was awful for those reasons. It was horribly embarrassing, and I kicked dirt in Dakota's face. So the other part of it was, is thankfully pretend, and I actually never did kick her, but I couldn't imagine actually somebody doing that in real life. That would be awful.
Okay, so apparently she didn't take it personally
I
that
sure
you were
hope not. She seemed to
that
still talk
ambitious
to me.
about that scene.
Yeah, she seemed to still talk to me at
Yeah.
the premiere, so I think we're okay.
I read Darker and Freed were filmed simultaneously.
Mhm.
What are the pros and cons of working like that way?
I think shooting the movies at the same time, it's only pros. There's no cons to that. I mean, I guess the con is you don't get to come back a year later and get the band back together and all that, but it just makes for as an actor, you have more material that you're working with. You can create a better arc for your character and plan things out because you know what's coming down the line. So I think there's only benefits to doing it, and would happily do it again.
Great. You just mentioned your wife who read all the books and loved it. So did my girlfriend, and she stated, besides Jamie, you would have been the perfect Christian Grey.
Oh, really?
In their opinion.
Well, that's
Would you be
great.
interested if it comes to a reboot someday?
I don't think I would step into his shoes in a reboot, but that's very kind of her to say. I would have to spend more time in the gym than I do now. Definitely. I think my mom's biggest concern when I got cast in this, she says, I hear a rumor that you're in this movie, and I go, yeah. And I said, but you don't have to worry, Mom. I keep my pants on. And she seemed to be pretty relieved at that. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think Jamie did a fantastic job. And, I'm 38 now. I don't know if I could get in that kind of shape.
Thank you, Eric. That's a wrap.
All right, cheers. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your time here.
I will. Thank you.